good evening to you. How are we tonight? Hey, it's Sunday night, and I welcome you to Auntie Yaa'S Cozy Book Chat. My name is Yaa'S Atobra, and I trust that you had a great day. For those of you who were able to go to church and then enjoying the rest of your evening, I'm glad that you're able to be here with me. Now, if you'll give me a few minutes to continue to share to groups, and then we will come back and continue. So today is the last Sunday of the month of November, and that is the 11th month. So that tells you a lot, because thus far have you come? Have you been able to accomplish all your goals, everything you set out to do, or are you given to even planning? So we're going to talk about some of those things today. Yes. Okay, so let me share to some friends as well and do one more thing. Actually, planning is not something that I don't think a lot of people like planning, but when you plan, it's good for you. It helps you. Okay, where are we? Right. Sorry, I'm not talking because I can't multitask too much there. Okay, now let me find my book links and throw it in the chat. That's one last thing, and then we'll start, okay? Where are we? Book, okay, there it is. Right. So, welcome again to Auntie Yaa'S Cozy Book Chat. And tonight, let's see. Okay. Hello, Ajwa. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you, sis. So I'm just going to pull up the banner of what we are going to talk about today. Let's see. I have so many. So the question that I have for you is planning versus anything goes. Are you given to planning or anything goes? And it's based on pages 195 to 198 of the book. At the time when I was writing the book, it was, we were going into 2020, but it still applies. Hello, Sister Queer. Nice to have you here. The same principles still apply. the same principles apply. So we're going to get started and ask ourselves. Today is really a real show and tell. And for me, I'm a trained teacher. So today we are doing real show and tell. I don't teach here in Canada, but I was trained as a teacher in Ghana before I came here. So you don't lose those instincts, right? So the first question that I ask, and let me pull up the banner. Are you a planner or anything goes? For myself, I'll say no if I'm to answer truthfully. Because, where's Amajo Shyla Adamson? When Reflections for a Reflections for a Thirsty Soul first came out, she told me she loved the term that I coined, that don't just drift through life. I wasn't just talking to other people, I was talking to myself, because I believe that if I'm talking to people about something, I better be doing that thing. Otherwise, you're just a hypocrite. I'll tell you seriously that I didn't used to take anything, too seriously, like sitting down and planning goals for a year or doing anything like that. Just drifting along, drifting through. Because it's not that, like, you're so busy, you sometimes you can understand why people don't pay attention to things, because you're so busy keeping up with everyday life that it doesn't hit you that there's got to be more that you're supposed to be doing. So for me, even you've heard me make this comment before. Adjoa says currently she's more of a planner all the way because that is the best strategy. Yes, exactly. Because, as we are growing older, we wisen up, is how I like to put it. So I didn't really start to plan until a few years ago that I started to put things down. You've heard me say too that with this book here, I put questions in it. So I had to answer them. But before, when I I read books. I read books with questions in it. I was too lazy to even take a pencil and be writing on the margins or answering the questions. I answered it in my head. But a few years ago, even when my pastor had talked about doing a 10-year development plan, I just looked at it, in tree will say, me fana terabi, it's like, hello. Yeah. So when I started, I thought to myself, hey, you know what? This is important. You better get to it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to define planning. So what is it? There were so many definitions, and some of them were so technical and so book longish. I picked the simplest one that I can relate to and I can talk about, to keep life simple for us here. So it's defined as deciding in advance what to be done in the future. That's basic. It's simple, right? Because right now, I was talking to Mr. Adjoa yesterday that I had started thinking about, I have to look at my 2021 goals, take stock, and then plan for 2022. And I couldn't remember when I started it. I went and looked. It was November 1 that I thought about it. Today is what? 28th. I haven't gone too far, but I have the thought in November. So if I leave it and I keep drifting, before I know it, it will be December 31st and I wouldn't have put anything down. Right. So the definition that I gave, deciding in advance what to be done in future. So right now, today is November 28th. We have up to 31st. For me, even to wait up to the 31st to be planning, it's a little too late, because you need to, not late that I'm being rigid, but I'm saying that you need to be able to put things down and then give yourself a break. Even say by the time Christmas comes, Christmas, we're busy, enjoying, chilling, doing whatever. So if you're able to do it before then that'll be wonderful. And then again, planning is the process of thinking before doing. So you are thinking about something before you do it. So let's take the opposite of that. If you are not thinking of anything, you won't be doing anything. It will be just life as usual and you'll be drifting through, right? So planning also involves determining your goals as well as the activities that is required to achieve those goals. So you can say, this year I'm going to learn Excel. So you've said it, you're going to learn Excel spreadsheet. How are you going to do it? I said I'll learn Excel, and you are sitting there. Are you going to find a free course or something online? Are you going to register register and pay for an online course, or are you going to get a book and review it? You have to figure out how you are going to do that. So I hope that you are with me so far. Hello, Mamli. How are you? Hope you are well, eh? Did you finish that pity party that I didn't want to come to? Akuya says, what do you do when the things you set out to do or plan to execute in the future don't go as planned? Please remind me. We'll come to that, okay? I think it's in there. If I don't address it, or the things that I say don't answer that question, remind me to come back to it. Adjoa says, planning keeps you focused and makes things simple with realistic goals. Many people make life difficult because they do things as they go in hopes of someone saving them from their hardship instead of doing things their own by acquiring knowledge, typical with our society and communities. Exactly that. Mamle says you are well. Thanks. Okay, thanks for coming. So the next question that I'm going to ask then is, did you have a plan for 2021? Like I said, for myself, I think it's in the last few years that I'd started. Maybe this is going into my third or fourth year. I don't remember, but I did. And I'm just going to go through some of, for the sake of this topic we're talking about, we're keeping it real. So I have to tell my story so that you can relate. Because then again, we can't expect people to be doing things that we don't do. Yes, there's a name for that. It's called hypocrisy. So I won't come and sit here and talk about things that I don't do. So for me, what I had a number of goals. So I had literary goals that were to do with my book writing. And I had, let me put it this way. You set yourself, I war with myself, right? A war, say, and Tokwa or whatever, not big fight, but I compete with myself. I tell myself, can I do this? Will I be able to do this? And so then I push and I tell myself, I think I can, and I don't give up. Because for me, what I've seen personally as a person, and I've learned, and it's not to say, hello, Pastor P. Good evening. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Mamle says, I've seen this a lot. Folks tell you things and expect you to do magic for them without them doing the work. Yeah, so it's like you write down, I lost my train of thought there. I compete with myself. That's what I was saying, that I said to myself, okay, can I do this? And it seems like something that is impossible or it seems hard, but I say, okay, I'll do it. And then I push myself and do it. So sometimes that's how come I said to myself, okay, I did a book in March, but I have something else. So let me push and do this one too. So it just things that you tell yourself. It's your inner, we've talked about this before, like your inner, what do you call it? Your inner critic, your self-talk. What are the sort of things that you say to yourself? So somebody else could be sitting there telling themselves, oh, I can't do it. Maybe I don't know how to do this. And then they give up. But me, I'll say to myself, I can't do this. I can't, let me try. And you have to put in the effort, of course. Sometimes we don't feel like doing it. Look, there's days that I go, 3 days of the week, I've been running around doing things for other people, whether it's my kids or whoever. And then I haven't done anything. But you don't be too hard on yourself. You just pick up from there. So those were the literary goals. So business goals, I was talking about looking at my YouTube webinar creation. Well, webinar creation, there's all kinds of, should I call it software or whatever out there for doing webinars. You do the research, but have you actually ever gone and done it yet? No. Or looking at exploring different streams of income. Like you're doing the research, but I'm bringing this out because it's like, I didn't really meet my target here, but I don't give up either. So I just say that if something was not accomplished, you move it over to the next stage and then do it. Like, don't beat yourself up over the head, but look at what you accomplished. Maybe there were one or two things you were able to do. Focus on that and then write down what you didn't and then create new targets for them in the future. I hope, Sir Kuya, that has answered your question in a bit, but we'll keep going. And then personal growth tools like reading, taking courses. But when we talk about reading, I admire people who read, and they read so fast and they read a lot of things, because for me, I don't know what my problem is, but I love reading, but I don't seem to get anywhere with it. It's like I'm so busy. You see, this book here. Actually, I shouldn't put myself down. I've done well. I've done well. It's how many pages? I'm just going to show you. It's 315 or so, and I'm in page 142. This is Reflections of a Hope Monger by Abaketo Anda, and I got it as a prize. What do you call it? In May. So we're in November now. That's 6 months, and I've read 142 pages. But the beauty of it is when I'm working, I work from home still. On my lunch break, maybe I'll pick it up and then read something. You know, that's what I do. And then this book here. So these are my two books going forward. So this book here is Change Your Mind, Change the World by Ferdinand, Senor Lawson. And I just got the author's copy. He signed it and sent it to me. So I appreciate that, I got a free book. And so I'm reading it. And when did I get this book? I always date my books. Actually, I probably didn't. I forgot to when I got it. Because he had signed it, I forgot to put in the date. So all my books have dates in it, so I know when I got the book. But this also is 168 pages. Where am I? Page 16, right? Look at this, if you can see it, because I told him that everything in it seems underlinable. I put a post one day and I said, is that a word? Everything is a big, but still I continue. So those are my reading goals. And then spiritual goals, I started Practical Nyamisem because I made the comment that something hit me and I started asking myself, what is it about us and our way of worshiping God? Like, there's all kinds of nuggets. The Bible is a manual for living. And so if we are reading it, you and I both, or you, all of us, including myself, we're supposed to be living productive, fruitful, and victorious lives. But why are we not? So that's why I said Practical Nyamisem, because some of the verses, the way that we apply it, and I look and I'm like, no. Something is wrong. Yes. So that's why I did Practical Nyamisem. And the beauty of it is, out of Practical Nyamisem, it turned into a material for refreshing for my weary soul, which you now see. So that goal, I say that I'm happy with it. And I will still, right now I'm going through refreshing for my weary soul, but I do plan to continue Practical Nyamisem, because as for the Nyamias in the Bible, it's never ending. It's always there. You can read the same passage every day of the next week, the coming week, and every day you'll get something new out of that one passage. So there's always something to learn and share with people. And for family goals, I have things like prayer support for your family activities, family goals. You know how it goes. It's not, how do you call it? You wish that it would be better, but at least we're able to take a vacation. We're able to spend time with each other, visit and do things. So that too, it can be improved on. And health and well-being, well, let me tell you this. At the beginning of this year, I was really doing well, because you heard me talking about getting a QB for my son and his wife, and I was exercising 3 times a week from January like it was winter time. So I was doing it. I was so gung-ho. And then, summer came and I gave up because I could go outside for walks and all that. Now, what do you have it? Since September or so, I've been so lazy. September, October, we're in November, we're back into winter. and I have to start the QB again. When I sit on it, I even feel lazy to do it. And so I was asking my older daughter, what I need some dancing music. So I said, well, maybe I'll take a page out of Ajo Odo's and just, I like dancing. So even if you can play music and dance for 15 minutes, you will get some energy going. So I'm going to start that. So I'm just telling you that I fell. My health and well-being goals are falling. Financial goals, pay down debt and save. We'll come back to that if we do. And book reads, I showed you, it's not completed. It's ongoing. And learning goals. Well, I'm someone, I like to learn new things, like doing things, even if you are posting something, design something, Canva, post on my wall, what have you. I was trying to learn I had some Udemy courses that I bought previously, but I haven't really paid attention to. But for me, like there's a free coaching that I do with Pastor P on Sundays. And then there's coaching too that I've paid for with different people. If I see something and I'm interested in it, I will pay for it. Yes. And it's not to say I don't have 50,000 or 100,000 line, no, but what I've noticed is that we as a people, we don't like to invest in ourselves. We will cry and whine and moan and complain. But that same money, we'll use it to do other kinds of things which are not really necessary. But things that, like, it's almost like we are taught to think of other people even before we think of ourselves. But the best thing you can do for yourself is to invest in yourself. Look, yesterday I was looking at my emails. I get emails from Udemy, and sometimes I don't pay attention to them, but sometimes when you do, you see some cheaper courses. So yesterday I'm like, oh, okay, I saw something about Instagram growth, and then I saw something about YouTube, and there was something about digital marketing. I said, I don't know anything about digital marketing, but here they are. Here they are. They put in so many courses in one or whatever. And so this afternoon, when I was getting ready, I said, I better calculate how much I spent so I can tell people. So I said one was 18 something, the other was 13 something, the other was 20 something. It's not even $60. You can go to the mall and spend $60 on makeup. So which one do you want? To spend makeup on your face or to spend it on your mind and be a better version of yourself? Yeah. So anyway, I have a lot of comments, so let me read through some of them and then we'll continue. I think it started from here. So Ajua says, you pause, then go back to the drawing board to figure what went wrong, what you missed, what you could have done differently, where you prepare emotional and psychological ready, what strategies were used, what you can tweak to re-execute. Don't give up. Or was your expectation way above your means? Oh, okay, knowledgeable and beautiful Sister Kwanima. Sister Kwe, I hope you were listening to me. I was reading it in a funny way, but Ajua was answering your question too. So this is what she's saying. And then Ajua says, always celebrate the little that you accomplish. Exactly that. You see, the thing that will get us away from the negative self-talk is to learn to focus on the little things. Be grateful. Oh, I was able to do this. Celebrate that. Figure out why you went wrong in that other area and correct it. It's not the end of the world. Akuya says, it's always said that don't put all your eggs in one basket. Is it advisable to have a backup plan in all your strategies? Yes, I would think so. Like usually, well, sometimes I've heard something funny people saying this funny thing that sometimes no, because set your goal and say that I'm going to do that and then don't look back. But no, I'm just thinking that you have to be flexible. You have to be flexible because sometimes people have a goal and when they go wrong, they beat themselves up so much and they are so inflexible. They don't even want to sit and look at where did I go wrong. Maybe I can learn something from what happened and correct myself, but we'll come to some of those too. Such ironic and typical behaviors with many family members, friends, partners, society in general, like, hello, nothing comes easy without hard work. without hard, with active mindsets. Common sense is not so common for a lot of people. Obapa, Mamle, Yoko Godwin. So I think she's answering your statement from before that people expect magic from you. Well, Pastor P says, Auntie Yaa'S always investing in herself. Bravo to you. Thank you. You see, and Pastor P, thank you for saying that. Listen to me. If you are an older in our community, these are some of the things that we tell ourselves. We are so, we put ourselves in boxes and cages. We compartmentalize ourselves. If you're a certain age, you can't do this. If you are this, you can't do that. Says who? Don't let anybody put you in your coffin before it is time. So long as you are alive today, you can do something for you. So please do it. And Ajua says, correct and bam, Sister Queer, it's good to have a plan A, B, C with twigs, delete if necessary, edit. And so she says, thank you. Mr. G. Mr. G says, Ghanaians are eating organic food and we're struggling here eating akuko food. The small amount we send, they chop and we pay for. Oh, Mr. G. Okay, what's next? So yeah, that was the learning goals. Yeah. And then also I have this self-publishing course thing that I bought. So I'm working through that at my own pace. See, all these things that I'm talking about, like the YouTube course, don't come and ask. I'm not saying that I'll come and tell you in February that, oh, bam, I'm done it all and this and that. No. What I'm saying is once you bought it, it is yours. It was a sale thing that they were doing. So some of it, 2 days to go, 1 day to go. So when you have it, it's yours forever. You just take your time and you work through it. You don't rush through it. I want to learn. So because all I'm doing is putting these YouTube videos out there. Are there some strategies that I could be aware of? So, you have to be curious. Like, okay, what am I not doing? What could I do? Look, yesterday, for some reason, I came here, or when I was setting up the live for Tuesday. And so I went to see, like, where you tell it, which pages you tell it to stream to. I only just became aware that you can stream to Twitter. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay, let's try that. So I don't know if I'm streaming to Twitter right now, but I'll check. Then there's another thing too. It says you can stream to LinkedIn. And I'm like, oh, okay, I have LinkedIn, but I barely use it. So I went through, looked, fill out the information, and they'll get back to me. These are all, like, if you are open, you keep your eyes open, there's things going on that you can learn or participate in. So it's the exposure. Like, I've written books. I want people to know about it. So if you are finding out all these things, it's a good thing, right? Oh, okay. I've been talking and not looking at the time, but it's 5:30 and it's time for a commercial break. So we'll be back. I hope that, before I go, I need to say something. So this week, I've been receiving messages from people in my WhatsApp, and they have these long links. Some of these links, they are suspect, because for me, when I see this long thing, I'm like, no, where is this coming from? And then they go, I saw this on Facebook. So I asked myself, okay, was it that you was watching my live, or what is it? There's only one person. I think there were 4 of them. There's only one person that, I could see my actual link, like the picture and everything. So I knew that, oh, okay, this person watched it. But what I'm trying to say here is that we come here, we're doing these educative programs. So if you've watched it and you have some feedback or a question, please write it when you are sending the link, or even you don't even need to send the link. If you watch something that I did, you can just write the title and say, hey, I was watching this, and maybe this, I have this question, or maybe this blessed me. Like, give some feedback, because if you are sending a message to somebody and you go, hi, I saw this on Facebook, I'm not really sure what to make of it. I don't know if you have a question or you are just informing me. So we're all learning. So just send more information with the feedback that you are providing. Thank you. Adjoa says, every intelligent, proactive, wise, and knowledgeable investor's strategies with realistic plans by investing in several investments, low risk, medium risk, and high risk. Adjoa, where do we treat? It's all good. Okay, I'll be back. Let's see. There's the brand. So that is refreshing for my weary soul. That came out in October, and we do lives on Tuesday. So this Tuesday, I'll be talking about new beginnings, and it's on page 28 to 29. Miss Aisha had posted something today, and I said to her, wow, these are topics that I'll be treating today and Tuesday. So this new beginnings is also along the same line of what we are doing today. So do join me. I believe it's Tuesday, November 30th at 5:10. Now, with that said, I have an appointment at 3. I better hope my doctor will see me quickly and let me get back and do it. Okay, so we'll continue. Because this is a longer program, I'll do the others at the next break. Oh, okay. Adjoa says she meant strategize. Thank you. So I don't even know where I'm at with these banners. I was talking about what is planning. Did you have a plan? Okay, so I'll continue. So yes, so the learning goals, as for that, anything that comes up, you have to challenge yourself. Life is not meant to be lived in a static manner, like just or stagnant manner, staying in one place and not learning anything. These days, it's not about going to school to get long degrees. That's not what we are talking about. Just investing in yourself, the self-investments that you make to be a better person. Whatever your interest is, explore it and challenge yourself. The worst thing you can do for yourself is to let your mind go dead. That is a big no-no. And the last but not the least is travel. Like I was doing, I want to do a travel blog in the future, but I don't even know where I'm going to get that time, because I realized that lately I haven't even been posting anything on travel. And I just do that to satisfy my own travel or wanderlust tendency. So, and my oldest daughter is like that. So she keeps sending me these beautiful, I don't know where she gets it, beautiful destinations, beautiful places in Italy and this and that. I'm like, oh yeah, nice. Switzerland. Yeah, I'll go there one day. So, but you know what? Everything is possible. So in answer to the question, did you set any goals for, what do you call it? Did you have a plan for 2021? I went through mine. And the next question is, are you close to achieving your goals for the year? Like I said, I didn't achieve all of them, but I am not going to beat myself up over the head. And I think this will also answer your question, Nekuanima, because other areas were hit and miss. Some areas went really well, but I'm flexible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to review it and move some items to 2022. And when we're talking of vision board, I mean, like, I can't sit here. Oh, there's Aisha. I can't sit here. Hello. I can't sit here and say that I'm the there's people who do vision board, like the real professional, whatever ones. I'm saying that you do what works for you. Like they have visuals and everything. For me, I do mine in OneNote. So last year, mine said Vision Board 2021, and then I have the tabs for all the goals that I mentioned. So right now, I've created Vision Board 2022, and all the tabs are in there, but I have to go and write in them. So I'm going to. And you know, some of these things, I'm going to tell you something that happened yesterday. Some of these things that we say, we talk about, but we don't do. Do you know how you feel when something you've put off for a long time and you are able to get it done? Oh my goodness. So for a long time, I've been saying to my husband that, you know, we need to put, you know how maybe this is for disorganized people. If you're organized, don't listen to me. So, you know, you have things, this one is here, this is here, that is over there. And I'm saying we have to have one document somewhere that everything, car insurance, home insurance, mortgage, credit cards, this, that, information is all there. In case of BBR, then we all know where to go and look for the stuff. So when I was saying it, he said, oh yeah, this and that. And I said, oh no, that's not what I mean. I mean that we have to put it in the document. So I said, where is this? Oh, look here, you'll find it. I sat down. I did it in Excel because in Excel you have tabs. So home insurance, and I put down everything, policy number, this, everything. And then I was reading through the document. So I went back to him and he said, look, we have been paying home insurance and this and that. Have I ever read through any documents before? But because I had to do this, the way I felt, I said, you know something, knowledge is power. You have to know what is going on. And then I put in, you know, the car insurance. I did this, I did that. I've done some. It started. And because of doing that, it's like, oh my gosh, I make a list of things I do for the day. So for the rest of the day, here I was, you know, I was doing my videos for the book. I did 2 of them. I did some reading. I think it's Yaa'S who told me this thing. I can't find time to read. I set my timer for, was it 20 minutes? And I read. No matter what it is, just do it. Don't say, oh, there's no time. Time yourself and do it. And then too, I sat down and I prepared my notes for Tuesday. And there's this, when I was talking about doing an ebook course or something, I have some material that I'm working on. I started working on it. I'm like, just the one thing that I was able to accomplish. You see the boomerang effect that it had. So it's just, you get energy when you do things. You feel empowered. Mr. G was saying we spiritualize everything too much. When plans do not go well, Africans say Mr. G, as for that one, we can't get away from it. Till kingdom come, it's only individuals changing their mindset. Yes. And the thing is, maybe you don't ask yourself, what is there something wrong with my plan? Did I, you have to, sometimes I don't even know what word to use. You have to review, right? It's not even that you have to review and see if you are on track. But before, it's easy, right? It's easy to blame before. Aisha says, So as I was saying, am I close to achieving my goals? I'll move some of those items to 2022. So my advice is that do not be rigid. Whatever you were not able to accomplish, put it to the next year. Maybe your targets were, I think, was it Ajua who wrote somewhere that maybe your targets were way above what you could achieve. So maybe break it down or bring it down. And then also have a focus, always be focused. And then I talk about time management skills. If you are not able to manage your time very well, you can't get any of these plans of yours done. So we'll go to the next. What is it? What are some consequences of not planning? So the first one that I found, and this is all research, so internet research, it says you live by the flow. Your life is dependent on the flow of a river you can't control. You don't have a plan. You are in it. You are going. Say work, something drastic happens. You don't have a plan of, say, if something happens and maybe I'm laid off, what are my options? What would I do? Or maybe you even have a side gig that you are doing, something you are working on the side as you are doing your mainstream job. So as soon as that river, twists and turns you, yes, it's hard, but you go, oh, well, all is not lost. I can turn this way. But if you are not planning, then you don't have any control. And then that's when the worries, what to do, what's going to happen, this and that. Yeah. Also, when you don't plan, one of the consequences is you are not focused. You don't have any goals, so there's no targets to meet. You go to work, you come home, you expect your wife to have made your fufu. Oh, pay fufu no, and then you go and sleep, snore, watch sports, wake up again, go and do hard work, and come home. There's nothing going on. There's nothing going on. Just every day is the same, just going on. Nothing exciting, nothing happening. And then let's see here. I just say that again because a lot of people do not want to take accountability, cry, and that's why they're always blaming someone else, which is the devil. Oh, she's responding to Brother G. So when there are no priorities, there are no daily goals to achieve. It's like I tell myself, I have this problem. I think I forget where I said this. Was it in Pastor P's class? I can't even find the book. So I don't like to write things down unless I have them done. So in the daytime, I'll say to myself, oh, okay, I know I'm working, but I'm going to do this, and do that. But I only feel good when I'm writing that I did it. So here, like this little notebook that I got from the dollar store, then I write it. But today, I got to thinking, now I don't even know where I've put my phone. I got to thinking, and then what I did is I went into my Google store on my phone, and I found, what do you call it? It's called To Do Bit or something. And you put in, it's got a calendar, and you put in the task that you have to do. So even just from today, I put in that, okay, when I went to church, then I came back. So while I was eating my lunch before the class, I was doing my notes. And then my husband came and was laughing again. Oh, you haven't finished editing, because he saw me doing the beauty friendship thing. And I said, no, this is for another day. I said, and then I said, So I found the phone. I'm just going to open it and while I talk about it. So I found this 2-bit thing, and I put in, okay, yeah, I put in what I have done. And the coaching class is over, so it's crossed it out. Refreshing notes for November 30th, so it's crossed it out. And then I have, I said, when I'm done this live, maybe I'll do one video and maybe I'll do one course. I don't know. If I'm not able to do it, I'll move it to tomorrow. And so what it is even for tomorrow, like I said, I don't like writing things down. I want to, it's in my head, I'll do it before I write. But tomorrow I have a coaching session with somebody in the evening, and I'll put Vision Board 2022 to work on it. And then I'll put the soul music. So I'm saying that even though I'm writing this down this year, I can see it. I'm like, oh, okay, I feel good about it. It's there, it's organized. So it's just any resource that you can find to help you with, right? Just do it. Oh, Pastor P says it was the class. Okay. And then Miss H says planning is important. It gives us a focus. Exactly. Because you don't want to be just disorganized and being pulled in different directions. At least you have things happen, right? But when things happen, you just take stock and reorganize or replan or rearrange. Mr. G says there are silent enemies of plans, such as family, church, friends, etc. You tell them I have a plan, and they'll say no, change. They'll say no change, which destabilizes it. Mr. G, sometimes even they don't even need to know your plans. I mean, maybe I'm simplifying it, but I understand what you just said, because a lot of times when you make these plans, if you are running around with people who don't want to go anywhere, or they are content with where they are, chances are they will stop you. And I can hear Pastor P, I can hear Mr. Chematin's voice in my mind saying that if you are running around with like-minded people, they will encourage you, they'll push you, they'll do that. So it depends who you are telling your plans to. Sometimes it pays to be wise, because we've made ourselves a kind of people that we don't encourage positive things. Everything we want to focus on the negative. Meanwhile, there's people who are pushing to go places, do things, and it's okay. Why do we have to be happy with that behavior that, oh, as for us, we are not much, this is where we are, no, we can't go there, we belong only here? That is mediocre mindset. Yeah. So again, we were talking about the consequences of not planning. Distractions, yes. Distractions will hit you. If you have a strong goal that drives you, it's not easy to get distracted. It's like I always give the example of the woman who has a day off, and then your friend calls you, oh, Asemesi, why don't you come with me? I want to go to that store and go and get this, that. Oh, did you see that dress that Asemesi was wearing? Yeah, they said they have some over there. Oh, her colors, I don't like her color, but I want to go and get this color. And then you say, oh, that's the day that you were going to sit down and do research on that course or training or something that you want to do. And because you are chicken, you're afraid, you like to belong. Your sense of belonging is in those groups. And so you are like, oh, you don't know how to say no because you don't have a backbone. Yeah, you're a people pleaser. And saying no is a problem for you. And then you follow them. Before you know it, your whole day is wasted. Your next day off is 6 days later. Maybe there was a deadline in there. That research that you were going to do, there's a deadline in there. You've missed it. You see, when we become too much focused on pleasing people, living life on other people's terms, we don't get to do the things that we want to do. Some of these are hard messages. Some people can't take it. But for me, the friends thing, I cut it out a long time. It's not that I don't have friends. That's not what I'm saying. But if you want to go somewhere in your journey, you better make sure that you learn to stand alone when you have to. You need people, don't get me wrong, but learn to stand alone, because if you are not firm with your goals and that, you won't get anywhere. Akuya says, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Thank you. That is something that we always have to remember. Yes. And then the other thing is that if you are not, planning, lack of confidence comes in. You feel lost because you don't know where you are headed in life. You become aimless. But when you set goals, things are different. It's like me sitting here. Somebody can say, oh, you are sitting here, you are saying this, you are saying that, but which of those have you accomplished? Or, you know something? Sometimes it is about the end result, but enjoying the journey. I'm not the same person that I was 5 years ago. No. I have a different focus, and knowing that I have something to learn, something to do. I keep saying it, right? It's like joke, but seriously, let me tell you, if I hadn't found these new dynamics for myself, as I've always said, my children are all grown now. I have grandchildren. Even then, it's not like I'm with grandchildren every day. So my youngest is what? In her mid-20s almost. And then you are going to say, oh, they are going somewhere, and you are going, oh, don't go. I can't stay here alone. I'm lonely. You got to get your own life. You got to get your own life. You got to have your own priorities in life. Yes. It's like on Fridays, if just as an example, Fridays, I think Ajo had gone to work. Nana is not here yet. And so my husband leaves earlier for work around lunchtime. So from about 12 to, when did Ajo come home? I don't even remember. Like I was on my own here for 5 hours. I was working. Did I feel it? Did I? Oh, there are some people you can't leave them alone for 30 minutes. They don't know because they are so focused. Sometimes we sit when we have to sit down and think, or our thoughts scare us, so we don't want to be left alone. If you are that kind of person, then you need to start your work now because you have a lot to do, a lot to weed out. Yes. So when we are talking about some of these things, it's not for me. I say it, but I mean it with all seriousness that yes, my children are all grown. I'm going to be retired soon. If I didn't have a focus, what would I be doing? Pining away. So, yes, Ekuya says if you fail to plan, people will take advantage of you and use you. Thank you. Exploitation. Because you are living life on their terms. If you have nothing to do, somebody will always pull you into their priorities. And at the end of the day, where is that going to lead you? You are just somebody being used to achieve their goals and not your own goals. And Mr. G says, when I wanted to pay 10,000 for my fee, my friends converted it to CDs and told me it can create more than what, 5 million? Was he dying, right? Oh my gosh. Pastor P says exactly. And Adra says, lack of planning prompts and results in people settling for less because you feel pressure thinking it's your last stop. Goalless mind amounts to failure after failure. Thank you. You have put it well. It is what it is. And then let's see, one of the consequences of not planning. Well, when you are somebody who plans, you don't get frustrated with failure because when you make mistakes, it's a great learning opportunities, right? Come out of the mistakes that you make because you keep trying. But if you are not so motivated or anything small, you give up, you are done. So all this is part of the journey. We are learning. We are learning something, you know. It's like me, what I've learned, I started laughing because they said they said that if you are sitting around waiting to have 60,000 words before you create a book, it can be less, crying. I'm like, oh, come on, let me just type up my soul musings and do an ebook. Like, you know, if for me, it's something that you are vested in. It's a new thing for me to be writing. So that is my focus. So if there's other ways of doing it, learning more, just the process of it, I'm invested in it and I will do it. So for you, it could be something else that you are passionate about. Find it and be invested in it and do it. You are doing it for you. Nobody will come and give you energy or cause you to be happy or cause you to be joyful and you have to find it yourself. Yes. And then also, you know, when you consequences of not planning. So procrastination, you avoid procrastination when you set goals, right? Because the thing is, you can only put off goals for so long. Oh, I won't do this. Oh, I won't do that. But when you have a target and you know I have to do this by such and such, you start working and you get it done. So yeah, I have said a lot. If you have anything that you want to add or questions, certainly bring them up. But the next thing that I was going to talk about before we wind down is that I was talking about resources. Resources for planning, it's all up to you. Like you have to figure yourself out. You know, some go it high tech, some go it middle ground. Whatever you choose is fine. Let's see. Adjoa says planning reduces stress and any form of unnecessary competition, comparison, follow, copycats, lies, and so forth. Yes, because when you have a plan, then you know that you have some direction. I'm going this way, right? So first of all, like for me, I've said it before, I get all kinds of notebooks. So these are all some of the notebooks that I've had this year, right? So little ones, this one, well, it's like I put my prayer points or whatever in it. So those are some of the resources. And then I started out here with this diary that I was putting things in. Then I think the whole month of October I stopped because I found this little notebook and I was writing stuff in. And there's this book that I found says writing tablets. So the thing about it is I started writing in it. Yeah. But if you don't go and look in it, then you don't remember what you have. You know how I said these days everything is on the phone. So with the to-do bit that I found this afternoon, I haven't even explored the whole thing. There's notes, there's a notes section in it. So I'm saying to myself, so all this thing that I'm writing here, Crown, I can as well just go and put it in there and refer to, because that's for your phone. I mean, when you wake up and you want to see what am I doing today, you can go and look at your list and see what are you doing. And the other time I'd gone to the Christian bookstore here and I got a new new planner. It's just a planner like every day, so just to write things or things that you did. But the interesting thing that I found, like talking about spiritual goals, for me that is important to me because I always have to do my devotional. So this year, for example, I've been in a group where we've been reading through the Bible. And I'm saying that I'm surprised. Today is November 28th. I'm like, wow, I lasted that long, because sometimes I just give up in the middle and go. So in that same store, when I went, I found that, oh, wow, they have a planner, read through the Bible in a year. And so it gives you the passages that you have to read. And then there's a top 3 priorities. You have a schedule, like a to-do list, and then reflections on the Bible reading and things to remember. So I thought, wow, why not? It will keep me on track, because otherwise there's this book that I bought a long time ago. I went to Red Deer to visit a friend. It's an hour and a half away. When you go to these Goodwill places, and it's this book. It's also the 1-year Bible companion, and I was going to use that, but now I have this. So for me, I mention all this because those are my goals for the year. I have this little basket here of my little books. It has books, prayer books, whatever that I use. So it's up to you how you organize yourself. It's important that you be organized, because even with these courses that I said that I bought, so if I'm looking through the YouTube today, I'm writing notes here. Then next time I'm looking at Instagram. So this is what I'm telling myself. So the next time you're putting it in the same notebook, then you're going to flip over here. So I'm telling myself, I guess I bought some notebooks recently, so I better use 2 separate books so that I can see the flow or the trend of it. So, I mean, this is just little things that I'm sharing for myself too. I seem to be talking a lot more of the spiritual goals, but these are the show and tell. So when I was picking up those books, I found these 2 little books. This is kind of like, the little Bible promise books, and then this basic daily devotions for the anxious heart. And it speaks simple. For me, it helps keep me on track, because there's only so much Bible reading you can do. I do read it, but when you see somebody's writing and their perspective to it, it keeps you centered and makes you think. So then I write my little notes and do whatever. So there's this book here, that something that I learned in Pastor P's class. So, soul musings, like you write things to your soul, because your soul is very important in the scheme of things. If your soul is not happy, well, life ain't going on. And then there's this here too, same thing, concept. There are a lot of what life is about, being able to write out what you want to do. It doesn't, even if it's your financial goals and you're always writing it down, that is your plan. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and so on. So it's all entirely up to you. But the life has got to be meaningful. There's more to life than just getting up, going to work, come home, sleep. You have to do things that makes you happy. causes you, gives you energy. Like you have to find joy in life. And we're not talking about planning where you are so rigid that you won't move from a position, but planning in the sense of like you're putting yourself in it. It gives you something. It makes you feel energized. You feel like, wow, I have something to look forward to. Tomorrow is another day. It's like tomorrow on my lunch break. Oh, you sit, eat your lunch, sit there, do something, take your mind off work, read, whatever. So yeah, we've been here talking and talking and talking. So I think that we have come to the end. Yeah, I did some planning resources. There's a lot out there. If you Google, you can search whatever it is that can help you to put out your plan. Make sure that you are being effective. If you just write things on sticky notes and tomorrow the sticky note is somewhere else, you don't know what you're doing, but organize yourself. If you're organized, life becomes a whole lot better. So yeah, we've said a lot. I do hope that you've taken a lot out of it. And so we are going to take a commercial break and do the rest of the books, and then we'll see. Where is it? Oh yeah, let's take that off. Can never find it, eh? Oh, it's at the bottom. Okay. So there it is, The Beauty of a Woman's Heart. You can find it on Amazon Canada, France, Spain, US, Germany, Italy, and Innovi Books as well. It's on Barnes and Nobles. Now this book here, any girl from 10 years old going can read it. It's good for preteens, teenagers, young adults, women getting ready for marriage, not in marriage, 30s, 40s, 50s. It's very encouraging. It will inspire you to live a better and motivational life. So today I have an old friend from a church that I used to attend, and she's in my new place right now, and she had asked for one book last week, and she made me bring 3 today because she's given them out to friends of hers. She made me sign one for the pastor's wife. And she told one of the ladies that she gave the book to, she told her, she says, I use it like a devotional. It's encouraging. I read 1 page every day. And I thought, wow, that is a blessing. So you know what? This is what we're here talking about. Knowledge is a powerful thing. It helps you to become a better person. And if you are not invested in acquiring knowledge, that is a great loss to you indeed, and to humanity, because after all, we're all brought here to impact one another. So someone else is impacting you, but what are you doing to impact the others? So let us always keep that in mind. And as well, last but not the least, is if I can find it, give me a second here. So the first book here is Reflections for a Thirsty Soul, and that you can find on Amazon, Freezing Press, Barnes and Nobles, Google Books, and iTunes. And so with that, we will end it here. I trust that you've got a lot. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I better read some comments came while I was gone. So, okay. Message says the devil finds work for idle hands. Oh, I strongly believe in that. You know, we used to hear this comment and laugh in our childhood, but it is so true because look at what is going on. If you're not planning your life and you're following people around, you're getting yourselves into all kinds of problems. And you know, Adjoa says knowledge is power based on your willingness, determination, commitment, level of critical thinking, emotional resilience, level of patience, etc. Life is complex and one cannot expect to walk a straight life without expecting some challenges, which is temporary based on our decision making. Thank you. And then let's see. She says, if one does not work to earn their own capital, they spend it foolishly because they have no knowledge of what it takes to earn, establish financially stable life. All many people know to do best is to beg, take, drain, and take from those who work so hard. Yes, the thing about it is, Adjoa, we're getting wiser because, you know, the interesting thing is people want to make comments, put you down, you are this, you are that. But at the end of the day, you have done your work. It took you hard work to go inside yourself and say, hey, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Can I do better? What do I offer? What can I bring to the table? And so if you are dealing with somebody else who is not that empowered and then they choose to come and criticize you, that is not your burden. It is their issue. Sadly, people think that other people owe them, but we need to be responsible for ourselves. Accountability is key. Accountability is key. So, yes, I thank you all so much for coming today. Miss Adjoa, Miss Sage, Mamle, Pastor P, Ekuanima, who else? Mr. G, Aisha, and anybody else that I've missed. Thank you for coming. I appreciate your support. Adjoa says the worst thing include those who use your hard working money to have multiple partners, go to bars, flex with someone else's money, do juju, voodoo's lies. Adjoa, the mindset is an issue. Yeah, it is an issue. Thank you. Everybody have a blessed week. I appreciate you coming. And if you come on afterwards, please leave us your comments. And if you are watching and you're sending me feedback, please include your comments as well. I appreciate you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a blessed week. We'll see you on Tuesday.